Okay, now we gotta behave.
Do I have to be on? Can I be on and click with my computer? So it's gonna be hard for me to see what screen I'm on. I'll join via Zoom. You can do that. Then I can see, right?
Where's
Yeah.
the little, it's not showing up the little screen.
Yeah, because you gotta go back into Zoom and click on the other screen where you can see the participants.
Yeah, if you can, just charge me for it. And then I know she texted me. I guess you guys-
And then go to start video. Oh, you clicked out of it too fast. Just X out of that. And then, yeah, so start video to the left
Oh.
where it's X. Yep. There you go. Now you can see it. And yeah, Michelle, if you. If you start joining.
Okay, here you go.
There you go. So to go back a slide, back arrow, to go forward.
I think I got it.
That's very simple. Making sure.
I'm a fast learner.
No passing notes, Bob.
Okay.
All right,
You're
so
gonna-
now.
Quiet room.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to. do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I wish we could have one in the back of the room too.
Can't you see it on your?
Do you know what I mean? It'd be nice to have one there so that
It
we could
would.
face people
Mhm.
and still know the content, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, try to sign in.
We
I'm
can do that.
going to run into the rest of it. What was that?
We can do that.
I think we can.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Totally possible.
Why is it doing that?
Somebody either has the mic turned up real loud.
I wonder if that was
I wonder,
me.
is your volume turned up real loud?
It could have been. I'm gonna-
To see what happens as you get going.
I wrote down one more back on. I think it's me.
And I talked to the guy, he's like, I don't think, so he said that this solo was 280. So.
Well, there's Michelle. She's on.
There we go. And I turned my volume down. That's what it was.
Normally, we've been getting like 2 people signing on through Zoom. So
That was for the.
they should be able to hear you since you're right at your computer.
But I
Oh, but if you have it on mute, they won't, I don't know if it's with,
I think it's that. I
Yeah.
muted myself.
they used to have there was another microphone.
Hey, Michelle, do you have seven?
I don't
houses and.
I don't have any of them.
Oh, well, here,
So if you want,
here's 2 extra copies
yeah, if you want
of
to
those.
print whatever for me, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Because I'm gonna put them all together and then put. I haven't been printing them at home because
Oh my gosh.
everything's good online on the desk.
so he said. Okay.
She
You're
has
gonna do
hers.
the share screen, right? Or, because I can't share, or do I? It should be.
It's not up here. Yeah, but you can't see the presentation. To the screen, the presentation. You're looking at what's being displayed, the presentation. I just wanted you to be aware.
It was, and then I don't know what happened.
I didn't do anything to it.
Now it's on your screen.
It happened up, and then I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you just have to check.
Yeah.
Okay,
Isn't it?
okay. We're good to go now.
Normally there was like 3 other
You
people.
should stay on. just to
um,
make sure. And-
Phil shows up and his group will show up. Last week it was Jeremy's group, because Jeremy was doing a doing a
Yeah.
presentation, but
He wanted people to.
um, Tina usually shows up if she's in.
There's nobody except me.
So you have 2 minutes till go time. And just start. Right at 10, and if people join, they join. And Bob's a really easy audience.
I forgot my apple for the teacher though.
Oh, man.
Darn.
No bonus.
I can run up to
points.
Dunkin'.
That's even better.
You said apple donut, right?
Right.
That's what I heard, Michelle. All right, I'll be listening in on Zoom now.
Okay.
No.
Are you teaching?
No.
Do you want to?
No.
Looks like Greg's looking for something to teach.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just saw the email.
Oh.
And he needs someone to cover his session.
What session is his? But we got,
I'm not sure. I didn't open the email. I just saw
gosh, I think we only have like,
2 more, I think. after
Okay.
this one.
actually 1 more after this one.
Oh, is it? I thought there were
Yeah.
2 more.
Cause that, oh, yeah, okay,
Okay.
okay.
There's a-
Yeah, 2 more. Yeah, August 2nd is the last one. Okay, I thought, for whatever reason, I thought it was,
Yeah, we have lead conversion and then
Yep.
living your goals after this.
okay. They've been pretty good. I mean, everything's been,
Yeah, I've been on a couple of them.
Yeah.
I haven't made every single one. but It's a good refresh. And I learn something new every time, you know? Because I've done this one before, but you don't always implement everything and do it again and you learn something new.
yeah.
think we're ready to roll.
Alrighty, thanks, Megan.
You betcha.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Today we are on section 9 of lead generation 3612-3, agent to agent referrals. This is my first time doing this, so be patient. So in this session, we're going to talk about the untapped resource of agent to agent referrals and prospecting and marketing, focusing over time. We'll do a final note and then putting it all together at the end. Ground rules, I don't think we really need to go over those too much, just participation. We have a small group today, so we're probably not going to break out into too many private exercises. We'll probably just work on those together and try to finish up earlier. Okay, so the first exercise, page 4 of your packet, we just talked about lead generation activities, ahas from these activities, the most difficult part of these activities, like what were your challenges, and then what I will do differently in the next 24 hours. So right now it's just Bob and I here. So some lead generation activities. I'm guessing this is probably, okay, so this is what you've done in the last 24 hours, so
Okay.
past lead generation.
Yeah.
So, Bob, do you want to list any lead generation activities?
I actually, all I really did was call some people in my database and follow up on some contracts I wrote over the weekend.
Okay.
So that, yeah. And as I was doing that, I realized there were some people I haven't touched base with. I did do a little bit extra. Well, I contacted some people over the weekend that I haven't touched base with for a while, because I found out the one listing I had that never sold, I found out they actually sold their property. This was back in September, but they just contacted me, said they just are in the process of having settlement. They sold it to somebody in their church. Now it's outside of my time frame, but they reached out to me and said, we're going to have settlement soon. So I've been sending them emails every week for prop listings or properties. So they're going to contact me now to start looking for a property to buy.
Nice, nice.
Like, wow, go for the win.
Yeah.
Don't dwell on the negative, go for the win.
Yeah. So that was one of your ahas. Right?
Yeah.
So we'll go over that one as an aha. So, again, for me, calling database, I have been farming my community. So I did some postcards for my community. Basically, it had like a dog on the front, and it's peeking through a fence, and it said hello neighbor, and then on the back it just said we have buyers looking in this neighborhood, and and then also I just had a settlement in another community, and I sent out sold postcards to that community just to get my name out there as well. Haven't had any response yet to any of those things, but and then calling the database, that's probably my most difficult thing, because I just hate making phone calls. I
was going through one of the first open houses I did. There was a lady that came in, and I would contact her like every few months, and I just realized I haven't talked to her in probably 4 months.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 months. And I just realized last night, I said, I gotta contact her, because she wasn't sure what she wanted to do just yet because of her job and where she was going to end up. So I'm going to make it a point to call her today
There you
and
go.
reach out to her.
Nice. I would say, probably the other thing, I'm terrible at my time blocking and sticking to it. I get so easily distracted, so, you know, what I'm gonna do differently in the next 24 hours is really just continue to work on staying focused on that time block.
Yep.
'Cause I'm so ADD. So I'm terrible at that. But I know it works, so. So we're gonna discuss today how to tap into one of the most overlooked sources of leads, which is your agent-to-agent referrals. NAR states, well, in the packet, it says there's like 1.3 million agents. I looked it up on NAR, and we're now at like 1.5 million strong
Wow.
on agents. So that's a lot of resources. We're going to discuss how to stay top of mind with other agents, tools to use to screen and qualify other agents, ways to prospect and market to other agents, and then of course, building our database with agents and repeating the rewards of agent and agent referrals. So today, again, we're on session 9, agent referrals. After today, we have 2 more classes, lead conversion and then living your goals. On page 6 of your coursework, there's an aha moment here from Mary Charters. I'm just going to quickly summarize it. Where she was not tapping into her agent-to-agent referrals as part of her business. She finally did get on board with that, and she had gone out to dinner with a customer of hers, and they were looking to do condos in an outside location. And she,
Yep.
yeah, come on in. Welcome. That's okay, we're on page 6 of our.
There's some-
handout.
Handouts up there.
So short of the long, she went out to dinner with a favorite client, found out that he was gonna be doing a condo project in an area outside of her demographic area that she worked. And she connected him with an agent there to, they ended up splitting the commission on 26 units, and she sold more of the more. She made over $200,000 that year. She made more or sold more than $900,000 GCI. She also referred her last 5 listings and got a 25% referral fee on each of those, which were outside of her area. So that was money she could tap into. So nothing, basically. And then now she actively seeks out agents to build relationships with. So the Untapped resource, obviously we're here for agent-to-agent referrals as a source of leads. If you look at the chart here on this page, you'll see that the top 2 are referred by a friend, neighbor, or relative, or used the agent previously to buy or sell a home. But then if you go down next in that, well, there's 5%, but then there's the 4%, which is where agent to agent referred by another agent comes in. So it's really a good resource. It's much higher than even advertising, you know, like we do the calendars, magnets, people do all that, spending money on those things. And again, as I mentioned earlier, in the reading, it says 1.1 million agents. NAR's website now says we have 1.5 million agents. A lot of potential referral business. And page 10 of our course work, Doris Carlin, this is another one where, just to summarize, had really not been capitalizing on her agent-to-agent referrals, and she was realized she was leaving money on the table. She was an agent in Missouri, and she listed a house with her client who was moving to California. She actually hooked him up with an agent out there, received a referral fee that was bigger than she received a referral fee bigger than her commission on the house she ended up selling in Missouri. And going back to this slide, it does say here, which I like, it is, to always ask if you can refer them if they're buying outside of the area. That's always a good question to ask your clients when you're working with them. On page 10, there's an exercise here. Honestly, if you guys want to just work on that on your own time, it's asking how many real estate agents are in your database, how many of them do you touch on a regular basis, and what percentage of your business comes from that. Later in this coursework, there is a chart that you can fill out like now and then set your goals for that, and then like plan how you're going to reach that goal. So that this is kind of a precursor to that. I'm gonna not waste time doing that since it's just us here today. You guys can work on that on your own time and set your goals for that. The untapped resource, giving and receiving referrals. So this is a cool little chart here. It shows, when you're giving to another agent, you'll get a referral fee, and when they're giving it to you, you give the referral fee. The nice thing about referral to referral business is that it's a hot lead, so they're looking to buy, other than maybe buying a lead that you don't know when they're going to buy or if they're really going to buy. The agent has already build a relationship with this client and knows they're looking in your area. So it's a hot lead. Definitely takes less time than cold prospecting, as I mentioned, because those people could be 6 months, a year, or even further out. And the pay is great with little effort, especially if you're referring it out and getting that 25% referral fee.
Are we allowed to ask questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I might have missed it earlier, but in general, what's the average referral fee for an agent? Or is that very state to state?
I don't know if we discussed it, but I think it says in here it's like 15 to 30%.
yeah.
I believe average around here is usually 25%
Okay.
referral.
Gotcha.
And I don't think we touched on it yet, but it is in
Okay.
here. But yeah, 25%, when you say is
Yeah,
average, that's what I've always
Yep.
experienced.
I've got
Either way.
2 right now. I gave a referral to somebody for a listing outside the area,
Okay.
and we agreed to 25%.
Yeah.
I got one from somebody coming into the area, and it's the agent that referred it to me. He said since it's just a low amount, he said I'm satisfied with 15%. He says I know it's not gonna, yeah. So he said yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it's really whatever it is, but on average, I'd say it's 25%. Most times. So the pros of receiving referrals, there's a list here. You receive a ready customer, as we talked about. You earn 70 to 85% of the commission. Look, cons of receiving, you pay a referring fee of 15 to 30% on the next page.
Okay.
Customers served well by you. Customer becomes a Met, which is awesome. You then have the opportunity to win their repeat business and any referral business from them in the future. So that's a great bonus. Agents may continue to refer to you if all parties are satisfied. So there you've built that relationship, you've proven to that agent that you provide good customer service to their clients. So you're going to be remembered more next time they have someone in your area. Validity already established with the customer because of the referral. Can you guys think of any other pros or cons of receiving a referral from an agent? Neither. Okay, moving right along. Yeah, there's like a lag time. So responsibilities of receiving and accepting referrals. I'll just read through these quickly here. If you accept a referral, you must respond to the customer immediately. That's pretty much our business anyway. Love to work with buyers. Want to provide solutions. Want to provide solutions along with awesome experience, be committed to and capable of working with referred customers. Know the city and resources such as such as doctors, auto services, restaurants, etc. So that's basically just knowing our area, our demographic area. Know builders and subdivisions in your area. These are things good to know, even beyond just agent referrals. Know who's building new homes in your area in case you get that lead that prefers new. Yes.
So the agent referral, is that a handshake or is that like an actual in writing thing?
I would suggest getting it in writing. You're going to discuss it verbally first. There is a form you can fill out for agent to agent referrals. I have that at the front desk. And also, I believe if you go through Command now, you can, and it's a Keller Williams agent, you can actually do the referral right through there. So you don't have to fill out a physical form.
I always fill out a physical form.
It doesn't hurt.
Like we meet on there, but I always send the form.
Well, there is a way to process it, I think, on Command now too, but I agree, like, it doesn't hurt, more is better. So.
Yeah.
And so I've asked a lot of questions. I'm like,
No,
brand new.
please, I appreciate it. And and I would recommend, like, when you're learning commands into our new, like, get together with Katie. She does our IT. I forget when she has her classes. I believe it's Monday. Is it Monday through Friday, 10 to 11? Katie Clint, you can just reach out to her and tell her you're coming in, and you can go up, she'll go over anything in Command you want.
Awesome.
But yeah, so through Command is also where you can find agents for referrals as well through Keller Williams. So again, know your builders in the area, be patient and flexible. These are things really just for any buyer you're working with. Stay current on your market, educate your buyers about local prices. And then lastly, make sure you do keep in communication with the referring agent regularly. And of course, always make sure you pay that referral fee at settlement. Pros of giving referrals. Here again, you receive that 15 to 30% referral fee for minimal work. You get to choose the agent, so you're somewhat in control there. Your customers served by a well-qualified and well-matched agent. That's your job to kind of pick up the phone, make sure the agent is going to be a good match personality-wise, give the value that you would give your client. Agent may reciprocate and then refer back to you in the future. Cons, you may lose that customer and repeat and referral business to the other agent. You guys think of any other pros or cons that aren't listed here?
Well, if you refer somebody that's moving from
here to another state, yeah, that agent down there is probably going to stay in contact with them, but I find that they still always come back to me for their next move if they're, because I match them with that one, and then I always stay in contact.
Yeah, that's, yeah, so definitely, that's a good point. Stay in touch even if they do move out of state.
Yeah.
Keep them in your database and make sure you are doing your touches with them. Yeah, I actually had a client that I sold their house in Hanover. They moved to Delaware. And I stay in touch with them, and now they want to move back to Maryland, and I'm licensed in
There
Maryland,
you
so
go.
they've reached out to me
Yeah,
again, so. So responsibilities of giving referrals, if you give the referral, make sure you plan carefully. Like I mentioned, interview your customer to understand their needs. Interview that agent to make sure you're getting a good match for your buyer or the buyer. Communicate the level of service expected, and then make sure you're following up with the customer and the agent. Side benefit of having agents in your contact database for the purpose of referrals is you develop valuable lifetime relationships with these agents. Then they can become colleagues and available. You can discuss issues, challenges, opportunities, and new ideas in your profession with them. Make it a point to add these agents to your database and treat them as you do all your other METs.
I have a cousin who has a place he wants to sell his cabin upstate. So he was asking me, he said, I want to sell it, Bob. He said, what can you do for me? Can you help me out? I said, well, I searched for a Keller Williams agent up there, and the closest one I could find was like Williamsport or south of Williamsport. I mean, and there wasn't anything for sale in the area his
Where
place
is
was. It's in Tioga County, north of Mansfield.
okay.
So I contacted this Keller Williams office in Pennsylvania. I even talked to Greg because he's from Williamsport, who up there.
Oh, yeah.
So I contacted this office and they said, we don't go up there, but here's a name of somebody. So I called this guy. Here he's a Keller Williams agent. His office wasn't even listed in command yet. He's from Lancaster. I put him in touch with my cousin. Turns out this agent and my cousin's son went to school together.
That's
Oh,
a
wow.
scary.
So,
how
so
cool.
yeah, so he's got the listing, and I kept my cousin kind of dragged his feet a little bit. It's like, you need to get this on the market. And this guy kept telling me, he said, we need to get this on the market. I got people that are looking for,
Oh, yeah.
so now the market's changing. So it's kind of sat there for a little bit, but yeah, it's just a little persistence, because I was ready to reach out to, I found other
Companies.
brokerages,
And
other
it's okay
companies.
to refer to another company.
Yeah.
I mean, you should always do Keller Williams first, but
Exactly.
in certain areas, and I apologize for being late. I don't know what you went over at the beginning, but I make a lot of contacts with people at family reunion, at mega camp, at the regional events. And so they just pick up the phone and call me. So occasionally, if you ask me where in the country, I'll find somebody for you, but it might not always be a Keller Williams agent. We always try to stay in brand, but how I pose that to the client is I get you the very best in the area.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Sometimes we don't always have full coverage in an area, so
I actually had that because my niece was buying a house in West Virginia and we didn't have any Keller Williams. It was in Beckley.
yeah.
And she didn't have, there were no Keller Williams offices in that area, so I had to refer outside.
Yeah.
And definitely you want to discuss everything with an outside agent as far as referral. Do you take referral fees? What is that fee? Make sure you get that paper signed because I think for the most part inside Keller Williams, we have that mutual understanding, but that's not necessarily.
Well, I
Even
always
some-
trust people for their word, because if I give you my word,
Yeah.
no matter what happens, I know I'm gonna follow through on it, but you never know about the other person, and when you're
Exactly.
talking about money.
And I kind of had a little issue with it now in West Virginia because we had the conversation, but it took my niece a couple months because she'd just gotten a new job and everything.
Yeah.
So by the time she finally started working with her, she forgot our conversation.
Yeah, that's
So-
why you get to send that document. right
Send
now.
that paper. I mean, it ended up working out in the end, but it was not a pleasant situation.
I'd be like, well, she's related to me, so procuring costs, let me see.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So after the referral is made, let's say I refer you and then you go on and take on the client. How much communication are you involved in, or is it pretty much you're referred and then at the very end, you just like see a check for the referral fee, or is there much interaction?
Well, they
in the
should be
beginning.
communicating through the process, just so you kind of know what's going on.
Okay.
Some agents won't do that. In the case of my niece, this agent did not communicate with me the entire time. But it was my niece, so
Yeah.
I knew what was going on. But I think it's respectful to do that, you know, keep in touch with the agent
Mhm.
throughout the process. If you've given the referral and you don't hear anything, pick up the phone and just say, hey, how's it going with, you know, so-and-so?
Gotcha.
Have you found them a house
You
yet?
can
Or,
also set it up as a tasking command,
Oh,
so
okay.
it'll pop up if it's not on your
To follow
radar,
up.
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and then,
I say that like I do that, I put it in my paper calendar, because I'm that old, yeah. Which Gary Keller carries a paper calendar, so.
I have that too. I do both. I have my Google Calendar that syncs with my phone. I have my paper calendar and I do reminders in command. Because I'm old and I forget. Protection of agents' interests. So something else to consider, if you're not staying in touch with the other agent, it affects the entire industry. And they discuss here on page 14 of your handout about, like the third-party companies that actually get a hold of these leads if we're not passing them on, and then they're selling them. So, why not try to take advantage of that ourselves? And it says here at the very end, the cold hard truth is if all agents followed up with all buyers and sellers, they'd already have an agent. There's no need for that third party. Isn't that interesting? Reaping the rewards. On page 15, there's a small chart here, and it just shows you that giving that 25% referral fee, or accepting the 75% when you take on the client, and then you also get their repeat referral business because you hopefully built that relationship where you get that. And then Dillingham, 20% of something or 25% of something is better than 100% of nothing. So keep that in mind when you're giving referrals. So more reasons to tap in. Real estate agents are plentiful, readily identified. Agents get it. They already understand the benefits of referring. It provides additional reasons for attending events, as Mindy mentioned. Opportunities to build relationships with agents around the country. Can you guys think of anything else? More reasons to tap in. Collaboration, I think of, sharing ideas with agents in the business that can maybe help you with a dilemma you're having, or give you maybe a marketing tip or idea, or things you could be doing in your area to get new business. The mindset and mind share. When you think of your business, what do you guys think of first? Typically, you think of sellers, working with sellers and buyers. A lot of agents don't think of other agents, but that really should be an asset and part of your business. So when you guys are setting your goals and planning your business plan, make sure you're adding those agents in there. You're gonna wanna make sure that you're staying memorable with your agents, just like you do your client, your customers. You wanna stay top of mind. Don't assume an agent's going to remember you by having one conversation with them or handing them a business card. So you wanna add them into your database and touch them just like you would your clients. Stay top of mind with them. Find a way to add value to that agent. Instead of looking at them as competition, look at them as a colleague or a way of building a relationship and hopefully sharing business together. So what makes you different or unique from other agents competing for that agent-to-agent referral? You want to differentiate yourself from other agents. So there is a little exercise here on page 18. I don't know if you guys want to take a couple minutes and think about this, and then we can talk about it. I don't think I'm gonna give you guys a whole 5 minutes, but just wait, like it's asking years in business, specialties or training you may have or could get if you don't have it. Some of your experiences, even if it's a prior job, since you're new in real estate, could be customer service or whatever that is. Hobbies, school, do you have a catchy motto? And for someone new in the business, these are some things you could work towards if you don't already have. Share. I know you have the experience.
So years experience, back when I started in 2004, Deb Lowry was my mentor. I don't know if you knew Deb, and she has since passed away, but she would say, listen, they just ask that question because it makes them feel like they're comfortable. I look at people and say, sometimes it feels like forever, but if they're really digging for how long, answer like how many years you had customer service or something like that. So I was terrified of that question when I got started. So I used to run a shopping center. So I would say, well, it depends what you mean, residential real estate or commercial real estate, because I ran a shopping center and then I would go into a story and spin them around and get right on real estate. And they would never come back to ask residential. Specialties and training. You can include, some of your courses here, or for me, back in the day, I did certified distressed property expert. I was active in REAC, so I'll include some of those things if they ask. I was a former TL here.
Which is team lead.
Yeah, team leader. And then, what else did I do? At RAAC, I think it was 07, I was given Realtor of the Year or something like that. It'll come to me. It wasn't Realtor of the Year, it was one of the other ones. And then I was a cultural icon for the office in, I think, 2014. So, and so I have a lot of jobs. I have a lot of prior jobs and experiences. Like I said, I go back to, I ran the shopping center right out of college. And my ex-husband and I bought a business and I was there 10 years. Then I opened Boyd's Bear Country. Then I, and then people are like, all right, you know what you're doing. Hobbies in school. I think for me, I try to be a social chameleon because I can go from riding Harleys to classic cars to gardening, whatever. I try to mirror and match what the clients are.
To find a connection.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then my motto used to be make it Mindy. You have to say it real slow, make it Mindy, because yeah. Now it's makepahome.com is my website, so I just use that. But just some talking points to have when you're selling yourself to another agent or to another client. And everybody has different experience, so. Like an agent last night that she's coming to me to sell her grandmother's property here. She's like, do you have any luxury clients? And I'm like, whoa. So first we have to talk about the average sale point here in York County, because somebody in Cary, North Carolina, luxury is $2 million.
Right.
So I'm like, well, let's bring it back. Luxury here is like 400, 500 and up. So yes, I have one. And we were talking about the market, how that was going. So sometimes they'll feel you out with other questions. Just know, to a KW agent, don't ever lie, or to a Pennsylvania agent, don't ever lie about how many years you've been in the business, because they can look you up in the database and see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for a new agent, like, you can always say that you're new. I mean, you don't want to lie about that, but reassure your client by saying, I have a whole team of agents in my office, because we're all here to help new agents. So, you've got the support you need as a new agent, and please reach out to us.
You can say, hey, I'm fresh in the business, so I'm hungry and I'm going to work hardest for
I was
you.
just gonna say
Well,
that,
and
like, I'm
that's the
definitely
other
very
thing.
eager and excited.
You're gonna do a good job because you're new, you're excited, you're driven. Sometimes being new and not having a big book of business is a benefit, because you're gonna dedicate more of your time to that client, because you're not dealing with 30 clients at one time. You're gonna focus on that. So you can kind of flip that. Also specialties in business, like for me, I actually worked for a new builder for the first 3.5 years that I was in business. So I can always say that I have some knowledge in new construction. That's great, especially, even looking at older homes, like I do know some of what I'm looking at. Like when I go into a basement, I'm looking at a furnace or, but those things come as well, just with experience. But other things, there are opportunities through Keller Williams. If you're military or spouse of military, you can get the military designation through KW. They also have luxury, they have land, there's like all different kinds of things. So you could search through, I forget some of the other ones.
Sports and entertainment.
Sports and entertainment. So you can like try to, see if you fit into any of those, or there's the young professionals group. I think that's
Which
under
Katie gets a lot of referrals, just that. And then I guess Bob and I are included, but they have socials and all kinds of stuff in the region.
I was just literally at the social. I don't remember what the brewery is called, the one right behind Sheets.
Oh,
They just had a social recently and it was
Southern New York
good.
County.
So did you get to meet some new agents?
Oh yeah, you get to shake hands with a bunch of agents, with a bunch of just different people, all in different
Yep.
different spheres.
Was it just KW or was it
No, I feel like this-
Realtors Association.
I think it was like a realtor association, because like
Okay.
everybody was in there, honestly.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
so that's a great way to get, new referral business
Some
as well.
networking done, yeah, definitely.
Networking with
Right.
agents. Also, I guess, I don't know if it's NAR or PAR, they offer like the, one of the buyer specialist, you can get
Mhm.
designations, add
SRES,
some acronyms behind your name.
BBR, SRES.
Yeah, they have a whole bunch of different ones, so you can check those out. They're, I think they offer the courses online a lot of times. And you test, and then you can get a designation, and you can add those acronyms behind your name as well.
And take some of those classes outside the area, like there's not always here in our South Central PA, but they'll offer them like a little further north, and those agents in the class will get to know you, and then you exchange cards.
Great way to build referral again. Also, I thought with hobbies, like maybe different things you volunteer for,
Mhm.
you know, like that's a great way to meet people and potentially get new clients. But I think people like to hear that you're volunteering in your community and you're supporting your community.
No, that's a question.
No.
It's not quite on the agent to agent referral topic, but I just am curious, when you had made the comment about, they had asked a question and then they were talking about the market and you just got them back into real estate. Are there any like key phrases or like terms that you want to use if you're talking to a prospective client who's like either buying or selling and are hesitant or just like unsure about the market? Or there like some, I don't know if there's like key things that you're gonna say to like kind of.
So if it's a buyer, well, sometimes a seller, I always like to say, listen, you're looking for a property and this is going to trigger a lot of your friends, relatives, coworkers, whatever, to become real estate experts. And they're all going to give you advice and they mean well. I want you to know that they mean well. But ask me. Like, parents think they're looking out for you. They're going to overprotect you. I'm coming to that appointment. I want to meet that agent. Because I kind of disarm them right when they come. I'm like, are you mom, dad? And I'll shake their hands. I said, 2 things you need to know about me. Well, prior to this market that we're in right now, or it's going to come back. Number 1, I want them to sleep on it. And number 2, they're going to have a home inspection. Those 2 things haven't been happening for the last 18 months. So I don't use that right now, but I say, listen, I'm here as an advocate for your child, your, whatever. And I'm going to go through the house with my critical eye, because when they come in, they're excited. They're looking at the new house. They're looking at all the other things. I'm looking at the mechanicals. I'm looking at the roof. I'm looking at stains in the ceiling and possible issues. And I'm looking at, I'm not a home inspector. I have gutted and done a few homes myself. Bob, you qualify there as well. I don't know about you guys. But I'm going to point out things that I see. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. But you should not have to pay for a home inspector to come in and tell you what I could see with my eye, just from years of knowledge. And then dads that come with binoculars are fantastic, because they're all of a sudden the home inspector. And then I'll say, so what do you do for a living? And I'll start asking them questions, and I kind of in a nice way show them that they're not really aware.
Yeah, this is not your field, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is the water heater. I'm like, actually, that's the water softener. So,
Yeah.
I have a situation right now. I'm working with the daughter and the parents. I sold them their house. Well, they built new with me, but he's an engineer.
Oh, they're the worst.
So, yeah, he's asking all these questions.
I like to sell an
my
engineer's
associate's
house because they
degree in
have a mighty
engineering.
spreadsheet for every
Oh, yeah.
activity that has happened there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Like they are just, and she's building new, so, they're asking all these questions that the sales agents don't know. And then it's finally like, you know what, let us just put you directly in contact with the foreman on the job, and you can ask all these technical questions.
Yeah.
Right.
I always revert back to, well, they have to go by BOCA code, so you can look up all the BOCA codes there. They should already know that if they're an engineer.
And then I was getting them calling me, asking me questions. I'm like, you do realize your daughter is my client. You here. Did she give you permission to be calling me?
And that is,
And-
sometimes you have to draw the line because, listen, how much are you bringing to the table for this? So I had a situation in Upper Adams, friends of mine. We're looking at houses. One set of parents have gutted and redone houses and flipped them from time to time. Well, they just thought this house on Yellow Hill was it for these kids. I say kids because they're friends of mine. They're younger, way younger than me. So, you know, I get there and the wife's like, you know, all emotional and she's crying. And I'm like, what's going on with you? She said, well, his parents want us to get this house. I look all over that there's dangers everywhere. You know, there is a giant, I'm sorry, going on a long story, brick fireplace that goes up to the second story. She's got 2 boys who would just love to be jumping off of that and then want to jump off the railing down and all that stuff. So
No.
parents came and they got started in, well, you're looking at it as it is now, but you need to think about all the renovations that you can do to this. Now, meanwhile, they both have professional jobs. They've got these 2 kids. They have an active lifestyle. Then, oh, by the way, he also coaches some local high school sports teams. So when are they going to do this? So I looked at the parents who are also friends of mine and I said, I have a great idea. Why don't you guys buy this, do the renovations since that's in your wheelhouse, and then just friendly sell it to them. Oh, I'm not spending money on it.
Right.
And the wife looked at me and she's like, wow, that was well played. But I happen to know all of them, so, yeah.
That's good.
And do it with a smile.
Yeah, right.
I get away with it because I'm a blonde and sometimes I can be like, well, do you think? What if? You know, but I'm really cagey.
So screening, back to
Yep.
topic here, page 19 of your coursework, screening and qualifying an agent when you're gonna give them a referral. You know, it's like, how do you find out if that agent's gonna live up to your expectations when referring a customer? Make sure, you know, you're asking questions. You wanna find out if that agent's gonna care about your customers and work with them like you would and be like-minded with the client. So calling and asking questions is the ideal thing. There is a list of questions on page 19. There's like 15 of them there. Of course, 15 is, do you pay a referral fee? We already discussed that. Make sure you ask.
That's number 1.
It should be number 1, yes.
Are you comfortable with 25% referral?
Yeah, exactly. And I would not necessarily ask all these. That's a little much in my opinion, but you know, maybe go through, pick out some of the most.
And a number of
important
these,
ones.
when you get in command for Keller Williams agents, will have a lot of this
Answers,
pre-qualified,
yeah.
like they'll have them, you can actually look at an area and it'll show which agents have sold houses in certain areas.
Yeah.
And it'll give you that price range. So that, a lot of that is already kind of pre-qualified.
Yeah, and you can go look at their profiles. So
Yeah.
in, since you're new, you may not have your profile set up yet, but
I had no idea about command. So you can basically you could see everything about me that I've been doing for like the last month on this command. Okay,
yes.
cool. That's cool. I just didn't.
Although I have to say, I don't know how accurate. it
I
always
yeah,
is
I mean, I
because-
used it because I had somebody that moved out to Detroit and they, you know, I was gonna help them, you know, find
Right.
an agent out there. So I got into command and got in the Detroit area where they were at and just started, I looked for agents and then look for, have they sold in this area, what price ranges? And then I just started calling. I got their
Yeah,
phone number, just
you
started
can
calling.
narrow people down to, like, if you're looking in a certain area in command for referral, you can like look by how many homes they've sold or, you know.
Their price range.
So
and
if you're looking for, you know, specifically, yeah, buyer agent or whatever, because some agents focus just on listings, so you
Right.
may not want them as much as you would be obviously wanting a buyer agent maybe. So, or maybe you want a seller agent if it's somebody you know in another state that's selling,
Right.
it's possible.
I mean, I had, on other cases, I had somebody wanted to move, a friend of mine wanted to move to an area in Tennessee. So I looked and I couldn't find anybody in that specific area. So I just put on the Facebook page, there's the Keller Williams Agents Referral page. So I put a note out there. Well, I started getting inundated by, well, we have people in this area, in this area.
Right.
It's like 150 miles from where and I responded back, said, excuse me, but you know, that's not what I wanted.
Exactly.
So, you know, you kind of get it from both sides, but
So if you go to, in your command, you know how you have all the little tabs down the left-hand side?
I have never even opened up.
Okay, well, there is, well, you need to work on that, but there is a little button. Looks like a little bubble with a person's head inside.
Right.
And if you click on that, that's a referral, that's the referral tab, so you can go in there, and that's where you can search. You can put in a zip code, you can search by a name or spot on the map. I think even you can try to do that. But if you go to, I believe it's my KW, at the top where your name is, there's a profile button. You can click there, you can fill out all your information, add your photo. A lot of KW agents are gonna look at your profile before they even call you. So I highly recommend, if you're gonna get into this referral to referral business, which you should, since only 4% of it's being tapped and there's 1.5 million agents.
Right.
Fill that profile out. So you can just click on that profile. I believe you can also go into Connect, maybe. KW Connect, and I believe there's White Pages is in there.
That's actually in mykw.kw.com.
The White Pages is-
Profiles at the top, the White Pages is at the bottom. And so what I was gonna suggest, if you get into an area where it's just mass confusion, just look up who the team leader is for the whole office and say, who do you have? Yeah, I don't necessarily need a Top Gun, but I need somebody that is going to do a great job. This is what I would always say, and Katie does this too, is when I was a newer agent, I'd be like, I'd want to bless somebody else that's getting started in the business that you think is going to be a hustler, that's going to get the job done, and you know. So that's just a way of thinking. And the team leader should always know who's in the office, who does good business, who they've received
Praise.
grievance committee hearings from, you know, like, because there's some dangerous people in our business.
Yes.
So they're not going to refer you to someone that's going to cause you trouble, so.
So on page 20, then we have another exercise, which step 2 was to circle 3 of those questions. Like I mentioned, you probably don't want to be asking all 15. Agent's going to think you're crazy. So just pick, you know, a couple that are very important to you and just have conversation, you know. Tell them about your client and their personality and see if it's a good fit. But step 1 of the directions here, what's important to you to look for in an agent to whom you would give a referral. Most agents prefer other agents whose values are closely aligned with theirs. The choice of the right agent for you and the customer is an important one. So even though it's asking you the important qualities, it just told you 1 or 2. Any other important qualities anybody wants to mention, or that as a new agent you would think would be very important if you're referring a client to another agent?
Well, yeah, I would say work ethic and like integrity, I would imagine, would be 2 really big ones, and then communication is a huge one for me as well.
Communication, I agree. Hustler, like Mindy mentioned.
I had in one case, this friend of mine moved to Detroit. I actually picked out 2 people that did a lot of work in that area. So I sent them, I talked to both of them, and I told both of them, I said, I'm going to send your contact information to my friend and I'll let him decide.
Yep.
You know, that way, you know, they, you know, whatever a good fit for them. So that seemed to work. And he picked the one guy I thought of who would probably work for him anyway. So, but yeah.
I had an interesting situation not long ago. A customer of mine that's thinking about relocating. They want to move back to New Hampshire, And I referred a Keller Williams agent, and they had gone up there, or that agent reached out to my customers, and they sent paperwork for them to fill out and sign, and in the paperwork, it stated that they would pay this buyer agent $1,500 whether they found a house or not. So needless to say, my customer wasn't very happy because that's not a standard thing around here. I don't know if that's standard where they're from or not, but it was a total turn off to my customer. So they're not using that agent, but that's something I never experienced before, so I don't know if that's a question, like, is there a fee whether the client buys or not? Maybe in a wealthier area like
There's a
that.
spot actually on our buyer agency for that. So in the case of where you're gonna be driving people around, or you have the looky-loos or whatever, some agents are doing that, like % down, and I've heard
So-
of that.
Yeah, I've never experienced that one before, so that's.
I would
not-
just refer them to another agent so they could drive.
Exactly.
Sorry. Be like, hey, I have this client, I just can't be all on them, like.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, that was, that might be a question to think of, you know, do you charge a fee as a buyer agent to show homes, whether they buy or not? So on page 21, there's another little story here about Mary Charters. And she's discussing here how she was trying to find an agent for her parents who were relocating out of the area. And she actually reached out to the team leader of the office and, you know, shared her parents' personality and asked who they thought would be a good fit for her parents. And Mindy, you mentioned that reaching out to the
Yeah,
team
'cause-
leader, you know, getting the right person for the right customer makes such a difference, as it's stated here in her last sentence there. Know when to refer. You know your demographic area, even here in Pennsylvania. I mean, even though you're licensed in Pennsylvania, do you want to drive an hour or 2 hours away to show a property in an area that you're not familiar with? You don't know the schools, you don't know, you know, much about that area, or do you want to just refer them to someone that can better serve that customer and get a 25% referral fee, or whatever that agreed upon referral fee is? Maybe examples of when you should refer a customer. When they're out of town, customers want to buy outside the geographic area, which I just talked about. When an agent refers to you and you are not the right fit for that customer. So that's where maybe someone in the local office here would work. Or even if you get a lead, you know, off of maybe a paid lead and you just don't feel like you're connecting with that client, you can always refer them to someone else in the office. So fee negotiation and referral agreements, we've kind of touched on that one quite a bit. And again, some of the factors that affect that rate could be the market conditions, the price range, as Bob mentioned. You know, he had a lower price point client and that agent said just, you know, 15% or whatever. The number of referrals from that same agent. So if it's someone that sends you a ton of referrals a year, you know, maybe you want to cut them a little bit of a break because they give you more business. And then the potential work and time involved with that client. Fill out that referral fee form. So we've got some, you know, myths and truths. The myth, I don't need to actively prospect or market to real estate agents. The truth is you must regularly add to and contact the agents in your database to reap the rewards of a referral. Again, we discussed same top of mind with agents, just like you would anyone else in your database. Staying top of mind, building that relationship with your agents. You know, they're not going to necessarily remember you from one meeting. And on in your paperwork in 25, it talks about farming. So in session 6, you went over farming, your demographic farm area. Include your agents in this. Think of, you know, how you're going to farm and build your agent database. Also in command, I would recommend adding a tag there. You can do tags and make sure you tag all your agents as agents. So if you want to send them a separate email or just focus on them in your database, you can narrow down just your agents.
I have to get better at this. I was on top of it for a while, like all the people that referred with me one year, well, a couple of years at Christmas, I would send them. My daughter and my ex-husband owned Sanders Fruit Market in Biglerville, so full disclosure, but I would send a 1-layer apple tray and I'd say referrals are the apple of my eye because I love a corny saying. So, and so many agents
Memorable.
called me and thanked me for that. And it was like, that's right, there's where the so-and-so, or sometimes it was just an internet lead. They didn't even know who it was, or they didn't have a memory, but they still thanked me. So I was just sitting here thinking, yeah, she said I need to tag all those agents and do like a little fun mailer at Christmas or something like that.
Handwritten notes.
Or
to
even a
your
Starbucks
agent.
card,
Yeah.
$5 Starbucks card, thanks a latte, because I love corny
Yeah.
sayings.
Yeah. I even like locally, not that I'm necessarily thinking I'm gonna get a referral from a local
Mhm.
agent, but if I've worked with an agent and I had a good experience, I'll give them a thank you card at settlement, you know? I mean, because I look at it this way, like even just building good relationships with your agents in the area, even though they may not give you a referral, there's benefits to having relationships with your local agents.
Mhm.
One, if you've had a good experience, they're gonna remember you next time you submit an offer. Like, I worked with her before and she was awesome. She stayed on top of things. She was so nice, you know. Take them out for a cup of coffee, just chit chat, even out of different offices, like, and who knows, you might be able to even get them recruited into Keller Williams and get them in your pipeline for a profit share. You don't know what the future could hold. So yeah, be nice to your agents locally too. Don't look at them as just competition. And then at the bottom of 25, back on topic here, it says average people know approximately 200 people. They in the real estate agents should know more than the average person, as many as 300 to 400. By connecting with more agents through prospecting and marketing, you're potentially connecting with the people they know, and it grows exponentially from there. One great way of growing your database of agents is going to places where agents are, get to know them, attend events. Like Mindy said, attend events outside of your area. And when you go to events, don't sit with people you know, push yourself to really get out there and meet people you don't know. And
That's what I do.
make
I literally go to an event and be like, oh, I know that group over there, and I just stick with them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to push yourself outside the box, you know, and especially like me, I'm a
Phil
little
actually
bit.
pushed me out of the box and was like, you gotta go over there. So I was like, I appreciate him for
Awesome.
doing that,
Yeah.
for sure, yeah.
And I'm a little more of an introvert, believe it or not. So like for me in social situations, it's really hard to push myself out there and just start talking to people I
Exactly.
don't know, but you know, you have to do it if you want to get to know people, and always make sure you get their cards. So cultivate your agent farm. galleries to attend. But, you know, pick a market that you want to kind of dominate, or like if you know of an area where a lot of people tend to be moving to from this area or into from another area, you know, you can pick that area and try to meet, you know, reach out to agents in that area and try to start building relationships with them. Yes.
Just when you say pick a market and dominate it, can I maybe ask everyone what their market is?
Well, for outside, I don't really have any.
For referrals,
For referrals, I don't really have like a specific area.
I don't, I just try to be in front of as many different agents from everywhere, or like when I went to family reunion or mega camp, I had postcards made that kind of showed South Central PA, because I don't say York, I say I'm in South Central PA, because I ran the shopping center in Chambersburg. We also managed all the other shopping centers in a lot of different areas. So I'll go as far as Franklin County. I'm originally from Adams County. I live in York County, and then Cumberland and Dauphin are right there. So those are my areas. And for a real quick 10 seconds in the elevator, hey, I'm from Mindy from South Central PA, make PA home. And we're right above Baltimore. That's how I just, because if they don't know Gettysburg, they know Baltimore.
Mhm.
So. pick a
And
landmark.
if you're being a newer agent, if you're not licensed in Maryland, I would recommend that you probably start building some relationships with Maryland licensed agents, because in this area, I think a lot of people do move up here from Maryland, or
Yeah, we treat their
even move down. There's a lot of,
retirement a little bit better here tax wise.
yeah, as you get old, yeah, the older people kind of move out of Maryland up to PA. So like, I know when I worked for the builder in Hanover, like we would always have people coming up from Maryland. It was a huge market. Even York, like the Stewartstown, New Freedom area, because it's so close to 83. For people that need to commute to Maryland to work but want to live in PA, it's huge. Actually, my client with her parents she's building in Stewartstown because it's right off 83, and you know, she works for Mount Sinai.
Oh, okay.
Now she has a townhouse in Maryland. I happen to be licensed in Maryland. I don't do a lot in Maryland. I am gonna list her property because I'm newer to Maryland, and we talked about knowing your area. I don't really know the area, but I know her, and I was able to pull some good comps, and I feel pretty comfortable with it, so I'm gonna do it. But you know, if you're not licensed in Maryland, that's a great referral area. So get to know some agents in Maryland. Here in our own office, like I said, there are like a lot of agents are both PA and Maryland because it's so close.
Amy Rayner, Katie Plank.
Me,
Me.
Oh, are you licensed in Maryland?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I am as well. Roxanne Whitaker is, so there's quite a few. Rick Keller is licensed in Maryland. So there's a lot of agents right here.
So
And
he's
some
below
got
Hanover,
her
and you and Roxanne are below, could handle below Adams County, so
Yeah.
pick your.
Yep, so, so I would say as a new agent, start maybe building your referral business there with some people in Maryland, that are Maryland licensed, and you'll find them here in our offices, so. Right along. Number 2, attending events takes time away from my business. Truth, it's actually smart business because you have the opportunity to enhance relationships and increase referrals. We've touched on that quite a bit. We also talked about, you know, when you go to these events, avoid sitting with the people you know and mingle with people you don't know. What your goal should be to meet new people, build referral business. Volunteering at events, that was another good one. You know, put yourself in a key position at an event, maybe the registration table. So every agent that's coming into that event, you're sitting there, you know, making sure they have their badge and you're getting to meet every single one of them. So that might be a good position at some of these events. Collect info from as many agents as possible. Get their business card. That keeps you in control by making sure you have their information. You're not relying on them to reach out to you after an event because you may never hear from them again. So make sure you're getting their information. And, you know, some people don't want to do events because of the cost, but keep in mind, you know, if you get one referral from an event, you're gonna recoup the cost of that event. Maybe tenfold if you, over the lifetime. Make a positive impression with everybody. Okay, another little story here about Mary Parker. She was, in her story, she was talking about, you know, box lunches at an event, and she grabbed her lunch and chose to sit at a table where she didn't know anyone. She met a gentleman named Bob at her table. A week later, he called her with a referral. Since then, she's ended up handling 35 referrals for him over the next 3 years, just from box lunch conversations. So kind of a cool little story. It does mention here, which is on page 27, you know, never go to an international event without getting at least one referral in 12 months as a direct result. So that's like a good goal, is to try to get at least one referral from an event. So when you're doing your goal setting for next year, make sure you add that in there. Try to get a referral from an event. Exchanging business cards is fine, and there again, I mentioned, just make sure you're always getting their cards so you kind of have that control of staying in touch and nurturing that relationship. After the event, enter them into your contacts, using the 8x8 and the 33 touch programs. Those are things you can set up in Command to remind you like how to keep touching base with these clients.
You said 8x8 and 36.
Yeah, 33 touch program. It's on page 28 in your handout. It's right at the top. And if you go back to session 3 of this course of in the marketing section, it goes into explaining more about what those are. They're just like things like sending a thank you card or writing a letter, sending a follow-up email, you know, or some other touch things.
Handwritten card,
Yeah.
what is it? Phone call C. Oh, wait. What is that? Bob, we learned that in like lesson 2 or 3.
It was probably lesson 3 because it talks
Something
about
called
the 8x8
C.
and
God, what is it?
I have the rest of them in my briefcase back in the.
have you done every session or are you brand new?
Brand new.
Okay,
Yeah.
so well, actually you can access all of this coursework in I'll get you the pack to get in there. I think it's
Mail call C.
mail call C.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Dave might be able to get him.
I was gonna say, he could
Print out
also
the other-
print everything for you,
Yep.
because it's a lot of printing if you're gonna do it yourself, but you can find it in, I think it's my KW under education. If you type in like 3612.3
Okay.
and scroll down, you'll be able to find all of these things in PDF form, so you could even download and save
You
them
can
to your.
just download it as a file on your
Yeah.
computer.
Like I have a folder like with all of them, but then I'm also a big paper person, so I have them I have everything in binders, all my courses I take, I put them in binders and label them. And so yeah, so that, you know, these are things you can do with clients, but you'll also, or customers, but you'll also want to, you know, come up with a plan to do this for your agents as well.
Even though we're talking about agent to agent referrals, is it a good idea to, let's say I'm using Facebook and I'm just reaching out to all my friends and family and saying, hey, I'm a real estate agent, and they refer someone to me and I make a sale? Is it a good idea to just like give them like a gift card or money, or is that like?
You can do a gift card, you're not allowed
Oh,
to give
yeah,
money.
right.
Yeah, don't
Yeah, sorry,
advertise that,
sorry.
because some people will be like, I got $100 for everybody that sends me a referral. Okay, the state's gonna look at that and you'll lose your license real quick.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Because you can't buy referrals like that on the open.
No, like I just recently had a referral. I mean, I didn't ask for it, but a client I worked with before gave a referral and I just sold a house. So I sent them a handwritten thank you card and I put, a gift card in there.
Okay.
I just, for them, just did a Visa gift card. I've already done some, depending on the person, some people are like one, I did a, to the local pizza shop that they like, I gave them a $50 gift card for there. You can do whatever.
Gotcha.
And then you'll get some gutsy people. I've seen it mostly on Facebook, and I think one person has asked me in my life, hey, so what kind of kickback are you gonna send me? And I'm like, well, I'm not in the business of losing my license. Are you a licensed realtor? Because you have to be licensed in order for me to give you cash. And I stay within the boundaries.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
So,
always
but
send
you
a
know,
little
if you want to
thank
give a gift card to someone, like me, if I have a past friend that's giving me a referral, I always send a handwritten thank you and give them a little gift card. Like Starbucks is great if their coffee lover, whatever. Just a little thank you to them. But yeah, I don't think you want to publicly say, hey, I'm gonna give you.
You can say, who do you know that wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, make that however you want, and then send them a thank you later.
Yeah.
But just don't put it on.
Yeah.
I forget, I saw somebody do that, and I had to call them, be like, might want to modify that.
Yeah,
Because I like you, I'm gonna tell you not to do that.
If people who know you don't have to be reminded you're in the real estate business, we already talked about that. People who know you and trust you are the most important group to whom you want to maintain regular contact. So we've already discussed that. We're not going to really rehash that again. So have you educated your out of area Mets? Mets are people that you already know. So anyone you know outside of your area on agent-to-agent referrals. So say you have a friend that lives in Florida, make sure they know that you're a real estate agent and you have contacts in that area. So if they or anyone they know is looking for an agent, you could connect them with someone in their area. Great way to get a referral fee. So make sure, you keep in touch with those people as well. Page 29, there is this exercise here. Think of 5 of your out of state or out of area Mets. This doesn't have to be out of state. It could be just an area you don't farm. And contact them with the message, like let them know, make sure they know. And then we're not going to call one right now, but maybe tomorrow when you're doing your 3-hour time block of lead gen, add this to that. Because we all do our 3 hours every day, right? So make sure, call them. Prospecting and marketing here, we kind of already covered this as well, the KW white pages. So I know kwconnect.com, there is a link there for white pages. Also my KW down at the very bottom, there's a link you can click on that will take you to KW Connect. And also you can find the referrals rating come in with that little bubble with the person in it.
I don't know if this might be a question better for you, either or. So I use a different CRM, is that what they're called? I use a different CRM, Follow Up Boss. So is there a way that I can have the two collaborate with each other, right? So I could just put all my stuff into that one, just so I have two instead of the one?
I don't know. That's a question you'd have to ask. Are you on a team?
Yes.
So I would ask your team lead that, or maybe IT for that. I know my son is on a team and they have a different CRM, and I don't think the two link together per se. But I would still suggest that you at least set up your command so you can get in there, find the referrals, set up your profile so that you can maybe get referrals because people are reading So at a minimum, I would do those things. You can also still take advantage of designs and create advertising stuff through the
Right.
plan. So make sure you're setting it up. But you know, all your follow-up and everything, do whatever your team lead wants you to do.
Correct, okay.
I mean, you could put them in both, but.
That's a lot longer
That
time,
would be a
right?
I think having everything in one place for your follow-up
Yeah.
is good, but take advantage of the things in command. That's my recommendation. So white pages, finding and connecting, gather contact info and implement the 12 direct plan. So that 12 direct plan is another method of keeping in touch with someone. You can set that up in command as well, to remind you to call or email or whatever.
And they have a library of follow-up plans in there.
Yes.
So 8x8 is 8 touches in 8 days. 12 direct is 12 touches in 12 months, 33. And I think that was supposed to be 36 touch. I think they were revamping it, but that's a total of 36 contacts over a
Touches
year's
to them,
period.
whether it's a
Yeah.
call or an email.
Mail
or-
call, see.
Yeah, 36 times in a year, that's the 36 touch.
For every one person, okay.
Yeah. So if you just met somebody at an open house, or you have a agent to agent referral database that you want to work, set them up on an 8x8 to just cement that relationship. And then maybe do a 12 direct, or just go ahead and put them on the 36 touch, just to stay in front of them. Because it's not like we're selling hamburgers where or McDonald's or something. McDonald's has to advertise every single day or they lose market share, believe it or not. But
It's
They don't-
staying top of mind.
yeah, they
you
don't
know.
need you till they need you, and then it's just constantly dripping on them. But hey, I'm still here. Know anyone? Or how's your house? All kinds of ways.
But in command, there's, it's called smart plans, so you can put them on a smart plan. Which is the 33 touch, or, you know, the 8x8. You can go in there, you can, like I have all my clients on birthday plans. And so I send them, it reminds me then in command that I need to send them a birthday card, call them, post on their social media on their birthday, things like that. And you can do that with agents too, you know, put them on a birthday plan. It's easy to know when their birthdays are anymore with social media. Just go to their profile. A lot of times their birthdays are in there. So you can add that, put them on birthday plan, send them a text on their birthday, or make them a phone call. If you have a good relationship, you could even do a small little gift that day, whatever.
Now, is there any automated messages that sounds like you store the information in command and command gives the reminders, and then you have to use like a different platform to actually send out or. get the
No,
text?
you can connect email through
Okay,
command.
okay.
Some of the smart plans already have templates, like when you download them and add them into your smart plans, there'll be templates for email there.
Okay,
And you can tweak them then once you've saved them as your own. So if you want to change the wording a little bit, you can do that. And as long as you've got the email connected, it will automatically send that email out to your client on that due date. Also, there's a phone or some sort of a texting thing.
Okay.
I'm not connected on that. I just personally connect from my own phone number, because if you do it through command, it's going to go through a different number. It's not your personal
gotcha.
number. But you can set that up and it'll send. Did you ever get like a text from like a different number? It's not
yeah.
actually that. That's what it does. It's a different number, but it'll, you know, you could put from your friend and your name or your agent name, you know, so they know it's from you. But I personally prefer to send. So I do it myself, but yeah, so you can connect those things. Make sure you update your profile, the white page information, that would be your profile. So fill that out as accurately as possible. And again, you can find that on mykw.com, right under your photo area. There's a link to click for profile. prospecting, recruiting. So Boyd Brown, he's more of a recruiter, so he's recruiting agents into KW for profit share, but he also basically takes advantage of that for referral business, building his agent relationships. So we kind of discussed before as well, like you can maybe recruit people in for your profit share to help grow that, or referral business. So there's two reasons to get to know agents and build those relationships. And you can get people in your profit share outside of your area as well. Not that this is profit share class, but you can, now that we're also offering those free courses, like if you have any friends that want to get into real estate, you can offer that. I have a lady out in Washington State. I sold their house here. Her husband's military, moved out to Washington State, and I posted on my Facebook story about the Kaplan courses that we're offering for free for real estate. She reached out to me and she's taking the courses now. So once she becomes an agent and joins Keller Williams, hopefully she'll put me as the most influential person that got her into real estate, and she'll be in my profit share.
That's called the Catholic courses.
Kaplan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known that.
I wish I would have known, right?
Yeah, it just started.
It literally just started
Yeah.
after I got my license. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it just started, but yeah, so if your friends or anybody, like, now, if you are gonna market that, make sure you do follow the guidelines, because Kaplan requires that we mention, it's gotta be mentioned specifically in the marketing for that.
Okay.
But I think there's some there is, because I use the template, there's templates in designs in Command that you can use, that's already worded correctly, so you can just download it basically and throw it on your social media.
And the profit sharing is something that's like definitely worth paying attention to and trying to stay.
I think so, absolutely.
Okay.
So did anyone explain that to you?
Yeah, brief, like, yeah, but
It's a lot
I,
to take in when you just.
It
come here,
is,
so
yeah, it's a lot, it really is. I think it goes, what, seven
7 levels down.
levels down,
And
so,
when what you settle, it goes 7 levels up. So
yeah.
it's a different percentage for each one, so.
So if you have productive agents under you, you're gonna just see deposits in your bank account, basically, for getting somebody to come in under you. Yeah, there's some people making good bucks.
Yeah.
The top, I forget some of this. I know from doing Bold, I was amazed at how much money.
Oh,
some of
there's
these-
Jimmy and Linda McKissick that make over $1 million a year each, husband and wife. And so
Just from profit share.
they used to be in she owns some market centers and stuff, but she got that at a high level. So it comes to you on the 21st of every month. Because Gary Keller's birthday is the 21st. That's why they chose that date. And of the, I don't want to tell too many stories, but of the pie of the office money that goes in, so you're split, agent gets money, and then there's house money that goes to the office, from your split. So of the money that goes to the office, Gary Keller said back in the day that he wants the owners that took the risk, opened the office, carry the expenses to be able to keep 52% or 51%. And then they have to give that rest of that profit back to the agents that worked hard to do the business. And so that starts with you and then anybody that you've brought in. So.
and who would be the best person to try to get more information about the Kaplan program?
Greg.
Greg.
Great team.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm
Great.
working with them. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, all right.
So where are we back on? Okay, so. Boyd Brown, we talked about him. And then again, on page 32, there's a little exercise here, talk about other examples, ways to prospect and market for agent referrals. We've really been discussing this the whole way through, but just to kind of reiterate again, becoming, you can get certifications, certified residential specials, there's all those kinds of things. Consider maybe joining some of the things Keller Williams offers, such as land or military or the youth professional group. Also, we didn't discuss this, but on NAR, National Association of Realtors, there's a relocation report for your area. So you can go on there and kind of check that out to maybe target markets where people are relocating to this area from that report, and maybe start targeting some agents in that area, those areas. So that's the NAR relocation report for your county or area. Also joining realtor associations, chambers, groups, even outside of our area to get to know agents elsewhere. Focus over time. Costs too much to stay in touch with a large database of agents. It costs too much not to stay in touch, and I think we know why. We've already discussed all that. What I found interesting on the bottom of page 33, that was Gary Keller believes everyone should have a database of 500 to 1,000 agents that you communicate to on a regular monthly basis. So imagine that. I know I don't have that many in my database, but to have to keep in touch with that many every month. But yeah, that's part of our 3 hours every day. And then remember, 30% of agents will become top producers. If you have been communicating with them all along, they'll refer to you. Stay in touch consistently over time. Maintaining your agent relationships, compound growth. Here in these graphs, they're comparing it to a savings account, so it compounds over time. Final note, and we'll be done here a little bit early. Stop leaving money on the table. Make connecting with other agents part of your daily 3-hour lead generation habit. Put it into your goals for 2023. We'll soon be working on this. Putting it all together. Power session ahas. Anybody want to share any ahas we've had from this session?
I think consistently market to the agents that I already have had relationships with.
I start building relationships with other agents. And because I guess like when you first get into this, like people look at it like a competition, and it's really not. Like there's enough fruit out there for everybody.
Absolutely.
So you pretty much should just build the relationships and keep them strong, honestly.
Absolutely. Sometimes some agents do believe that way. Like
I came in thinking like that, honestly.
Yeah,
So I
and
can be the
some
first to say
agents
it.
are
Yeah.
that way, even seasoned agents. So like you're not gonna be able to build relationships with every agent in your area, but and I think Keller Williams we're huge advocates of helping each other. And
Exactly.
working with each other, like, it's a win-win.
Right. Definitely.
And I think it's much better to work with someone than against them.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I'm like with you. I don't stay in touch with my agents like I should, so that's something I definitely need to work on. I don't know, we missed it somewhere through here, I believe, but I read it where it was talking about maybe not necessarily if you're farming a new area for agent-to-agent referrals, like don't just look at those experienced agents. Because a lot of times they already have relationships with other agents. Look at the new agents. One, they're hungry for business. Two, if you build the relationship with them early on, they're gonna, be huge advocates for you later for referral business. So, and three, we mentioned earlier, I don't know if you were here, but being a newer agent, you're not as busy, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because you're hungry, you want to do well. And you're not dealing with 30 clients, you have more time to really devote to that.
You don't have bad habits yet.
And you don't have that. And you've got the support of the entire office.
Right.
You've got your team, but even beyond that, you've got the office. And same for you. you can reach out to any one of us when you have questions. We're all willing to help, so, you know, new agents have a whole team, basically. So don't disregard the new agents when you're looking for referrals. And we've all been there. So, and then on page 38, this was the handout I talked about earlier, the action planning worksheet. So you can go down through here, you know, number of agent annual transactions you've had from agent to agent referrals, and then your goal. Like, this might be good to start thinking about for 2023, as we're going to soon in the next few months here, be starting to plan on goals for next year already. So that's a fun little exercise, and then, you know, of course, activities you can do to get closer to that goal. That's a fun little thing. 3-hour time blocking.
And there's a referral sample.
There is a referral sample, but it does say sample across it, so if you want, there's actually 2 of them, 2 different ones here. One is for Keller Williams, I believe, and then an outside referral. So there's 2 samples here, but I don't know where, I'm sure.
PAR has a generic one in their set of documents.
You said PAR?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I made one that's generic too.
Well, there,
What was my
we do
team?
have one at the office, because I know when I had that outside referral in West Virginia, I asked Rachel, I believe it was, and she sent me one, so just asks at
Just
the
know if
office.
we're paying somebody else, we need to have their EIN number
Yes,
and all of that good stuff.
the EIN is the tax number for the company, so you need to make sure you know their EIN. And then that's it. We're done. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you. Michelle, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mindy, you mentioned something when you were reacting, something about distressed properties.
It wasn't there, it's a whole class. So Alex Charfin had a designation. This goes back to 05, 6, and 7, when we had all the people defaulting on their mortgages. So certified distressed property expert, CDPE. It's resurrected again because people are thinking we're going to go into another one of those. So you should be able to just Google CDPE and take those classes. Like, I came out of it with a binder like this.
Where, who is it through again? I'm sorry.
It's an independent company. Alex
C-
Charfin used to own it. Yeah. PE, Certified Distressed Property Expert. So from that whole time period, become CDPE. Let me get you the website. From that whole class, like, to deal with the asset managers of the bank, you have to be willing to hang out and talk on the phone from 6 in the evening till whenever that person's available. That's the frustrating side. There's actually companies in the area now that like to do that negotiation for you, and they negotiate in their commission, plus you still get paid a commission. So what I later did, after knowing the whole process, because that's how I have to work, I have to know everything that somebody else is supposed to be doing. I just have partnered recently, if I had distressed properties, with that company. There's a couple in town that negotiate with the asset. Here's how it breaks down. They take care of the asset manager at the bank and negotiating through that process while you're working with the consumer to keep their lawn mowed, their bills paid, the lights on, that kind of stuff happening. So it's a lot of stuff for one person to manage both sides. So I don't know what Michelle's experience is with it.
I haven't done them.
I worked several of them from both sides standpoint. I just thought, oh my God.
I've heard stories that they're, a lot of detail, and some of it don't you pay out of your own pocket until the end. And
Yeah,
you get-
sometimes if you set up as a corporation, you do the repairs and the renos, and you have people come over, mow the grass and all that stuff, and then you get reimbursed, hopefully, at the end. But this was, what's happening in this market is not the same as that market, because you could say, hi, my name is Mindy and I make 700,000 a year, and then they would just give you a loan and not check anything. And then all of a sudden, people were defaulting on all their mortgages. So they were just walking away from houses.
Mhm.
I don't think people have, what do I want to say? Equity in their homes now, so they can sell them and still make a profit if they can't. Where they're gonna rent and where they're gonna move to is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But
And what is your name?
Oh, Terrence.
Terrence.
Yeah.
Did they put you on social media yet?
Not yet. I'm still need to do a headshot photo.
Okay.
Yeah.
ooh, the dreaded
I was gonna
headshot.
say, I didn't think, because I usually always see who's new coming in and stuff.
Yeah, but I've been actually working with Greg over the past couple of weeks. He's kind of, I know he runs a productivity program, but I feel like he's taking me under his wing. And this Sunday I have an open house. It'll
Nice.
just be on the market, and I think it'll be there with me as well. I just got to making sure I'm on the right track, and if I have any questions there.
It's
so.
overwhelming when you're brand new, for sure, but just remember.
And once you're in, you learn something new every day.
You do,
That's like-
Oh, yeah.
and you just remember you've got tons of support. You don't have to remember everything all at once.
Yeah.
It comes.
Yeah, and I'm really eager and really excited. I feel like I keep hearing about that 85% number, and I'm just like really trying to be in that 15%.
Nice.
Yeah. I keep going. And then even learning about this profit sharing, I feel like there is a way, because I feel like even just telling people that I'm a real estate agent, a lot of people are like, oh, I want to do that. And I feel like people have an opportunity to do it where it's paid for. They might be more likely, and then to know that they can associate my name with that and I get paid for it, I think I might try to leverage that opportunity a little bit.
Yeah, it's a great, it's the courses that are paid for. They'll still have to pay for their tests.
Mhm,
And then
mhm.
they still obviously have to pay for their dues and all those things, but the courses themselves are free. And you can market that to people outside of the area as well. Like I said, I have a lady in Washington State. I connected her with Keller Williams office out there. You know, the team lead that was handling they call it case 4 out
Mhm.
there, and
And it can't be sponsored. Well, I think I already know the answer, but you can't try to get a sponsored agent to join Keller Williams and be able to do the profit sharing, or can you?
From another market center.
Yeah.
So if somebody is vested, meaning, well, I should back up. I'm not sure of the timeline for that. But if somebody just comes to KW and then they leave, when they come back, they can name a new sponsor. But if they've been with KW for, I think it's more than 9 months, whoever that sponsor was, it's always their sponsor.
Okay, so let's
Wherever
say,
they go, wherever they move.
I'm just gonna make up one. Let's say Mitch and whatever realty, I know a guy who works there and he's just like not happy. He's like, I want to.
Oh, he's not a KW
Yeah,
office?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's the
okay,
ideal
okay,
way. is
okay.
that-
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you meant from another KW
That's what I
office.
thought too.
Sorry.
I was confused. Yeah, from a different agency and they come to KW, absolutely.
Yep, and then it's willable 2 generations. So as long as you're here, I think they've changed it now to 7 years. As long as you're here that long, you can retire, you can be in another industry, as long as you keep that license activated with the broker, you don't even have to be selling real estate. It'll still come to you. And then some people set up a trust fund for that money to go into, and then direct, God forbid you pass away, that trust fund then is an eternal collector of that, because your people bring other people and they bring other people, so your downline grows.
And do each of you guys with experience have a couple people that are associated with you, the profit sharing? Yeah.
And then my
Yeah.
son became a realtor, so I have him under me. And then another gal, I was actually marketing to her as a customer and she turned out to be an agent. So, yeah. And then the gal that's out I have a girl in California. That's a friend of mine that became an agent. She listed me, and one in Washington that's in the process of doing our courses now.
Now, is there a certain number that you want to hit to really see an impact from that? Like 5 people under you or associated with you and like you're kind of really, or?
I mean, that's a good goal. I don't personally.
Load
have
the
a-
wagon, bring them all.
Okay.
Yeah, as many as you can, I would say, but that's a great goal setting thing too. When you're doing your goals for next year, think of your profit share, how many new people do you want?
Yeah, how purposeful do you want, because I'm guilty of not being purposeful in that realm as well. So like how much of your time blocking each week are you going to just put out to reaching out to other people? Whether they're newly licensed or people at other brokerages. And when you talk to people at other brokerages, they don't like to know that their brokerage sucks. So you don't ever come out and say that, but like, hey, is your office giving you 85% of your commission? That's a thought provoker because most of these big box brokers are 50-50. And so then they have, it's 50-50, and then you can move up to a higher percentage, but it's on a 6-month rolling thing. So we know 2 things, that there's a natural reset in the winter months, kind of, where business is kind of in a swale. And we're kind of in a swale right now with the, like traditionally July 4th, around that time period, the market goes soft. And so they find a way to keep you in that 50-50. Trust me, I work there. So, and I was angry then because Keller Williams wasn't here sooner. So I think a lot of the other brokerages like to say we're a pyramid and all kinds of, they put all kinds of rumors out to scare people. But this is the only place where you can make more than 100% commission. You pay your cap, you pay your royalty, and then profit share can pay you. And there's some people that get reimbursed their full cap and royalty, and they're at 100%. I mean, it works out that way over the whole course of a year. So, yeah. And just something crazy, like I think one family reunion I went to, it took a whole bunch of York peppermint patties because I love hokey things. I'm Mindy from York. So I handed out to all the people in the area, in my seating area. And I met this one gal, she kept me in mind. And actually, while I was at family reunion in Dallas, she wasn't there, but she called me for a referral. It was a $600,000 home. So that was $18,000, I wrote it down, $18,000 commission, of which I kept $13,500, and I mailed her $4,500. All from being stupid and funny. You just never know.
No.
And again, with them, what I don't think about is they don't remember you until they remember you. Now, doing this a lot of years, there's other people that will go on different groups, like Bob said, he put on a Facebook thing. There's also a fan club thing. So other people get like 75 people to respond. Got to call Bob, got to call Bob, got to call Bob. And then somebody says, hey, why don't you check Mindy out? Different agents view that differently, but there are paid fan clubs out there. And nothing against Bob. But that's just how it is online sometimes. But because for me, when I see somebody, it's being referred to me 8,000 times. If it's not someone that I already have a relationship in an area, I'll call them and I'll interrogate them. And sometimes people refer people, like Bob said, it's 150 miles away. Or when people are asking for an agent in York and they're referring these people, I'm like, I don't even know you. I've been here 18 years. Like, I don't know this agent. Where are they? And then sometimes the agent does the right thing and says, that's not really my area. Other times they're like, sure, I'll drive 3.5 hours. Yeah. Yeah. So, Bob, do you have an open house on Sunday?
I'm gonna work with Tina about
Okay,
doing it again.
all right. So I have one I want held open, so. No, no, do you do open houses on your team?
I will do any open house you need me to do, if you need an open house.
Okay, I gotta check with my guy and see. But Markle Road, I think.
What is your name again?
Kareem
Marple
Smith.
Road in Spring Grove?
I know
Oh,
we're,
wow.
we're
I
friends.
still have that, I did $20,000 price
Did
reduction.
you go to Central? Your high
Yes, I
school?
did.
Yeah, let's say you look
He,
familiar.
just was OCD about, he's OCD about every little thing, and hence it took him 8 to 10 weeks longer to get on the market. My guy's retired, okay? He's had his whole last 3 years to get his house ready for market. So he took 8 to 10 extra weeks, and we missed the hot spot.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do a $20,000 price reduction. Okay. So, and then last week I had a bunch of people schedule showings, and then there were a bunch of cancellations due to bad time or they wrote on another house. So it's a great one. It's 419
And where is it again?
Markle Road in Spring Grove. That's what I was looking at. I have some showings on it this week, and I hate to commit to an open house kind of until I know if there's gonna be an offer there. Today's what, Tuesday? By tomorrow afternoon, I should probably know.
And tomorrow afternoon, if you don't get any answers,
Okay,
yeah, I'll be around, so definitely.
okay, cool.
And you can contact me on Facebook. I'm sure we're friends on Facebook as well.
I think we are. I always try to friend all the new people. Of course, we're all in the KW ones. so,
Correct, yep.
What was I gonna do?
For the open houses, do you want to mostly just treat that as a networking opportunity more than a close on a deal? Or like what mindset should I go in on Sunday being the first one? Should I go in just try to get as much information from anyone who walks in the door as possible?
Yeah,
Or
I always have them fill out a sign-in sheet so that you get their phone number, email. Always ask if they're working with another agent. So the form I have, which I'm sure Greg has something for you as well. But I always get that agent's name as well as who, if they are working with someone else, because I'll follow up with that person, you know, just to say, hey, you know, your clients are in looking at this property at such and such, and you know, they always appreciate that. I'd love to know that.
okay.
Rather than stealing them, which I just had that happen to me. My customers went to an open house and another agent. I didn't have a an agreement with them.
That's,
Yeah,
I
it's
always-
Because
crazy.
I was home with my broken foot. I couldn't get out,
oh,
and the house had steps. And they came up from North Carolina, working with them for a long time. And I said, just go to the open house. The agent will be there. He'll ask, you know, you can ask him. He is the listing agent. He'll know the questions
yeah,
that you have, the answers to the questions you have. And the next thing I know, well, you weren't there, and we had a lot of questions, and he answered them. We're gonna work with him.
dirty. Experienced agent or newer agent or
Experience.
someone
That's
that you
even
know
worse.
better?
Yeah, that's even worse.
Wow.
Yes.
Let's see, I have a permanent file for people like that.
Was it you that vented about an agent?
Yeah.
And I almost, it was right after that experience, and I almost like, because you were venting, I'm like, what, not one, but I was like,
Mhm.
Yeah, you guys, yeah.
I've been like, should I reach out to this agent?
So I think this
Should I
agent that
not?
called my client after I had a signed listing, no sign was in the yard, but I had a sign thing, and my client was overwhelmed with caring for her mother. She had her 2.5-year-old grandson. She's like, now she had a list of family friends. Her parents lived in this house since 1960, so she's got people in the neighborhood that wanted called. And an agent called my seller who lives in Maryland at her Maryland number, not associated with his house or any lookups or anything. And they wanted to know the price and information. I'm like, oh, no. I said, that's why you have me. I'm happy to call that agent.
Right.
And so she didn't have time to talk any further. And so I tried to call the agent, and I think the agent saw me on Facebook. What I did on Facebook was probably not appropriate, but I wanted that person to call me.
Did they?
But no, because I thought they saw the couple pictures that I posted the night before when I was there blowing out the 2 garages, cleaning windows and all this stuff that the company failed to do for my client. So I was a little miffed. I had my fangs out for sure.
Yeah.
So I think that person was put up to it by somebody that lost out on the listing appointment to me. So no one got chopped down at the knees on that, but
Yeah. I mean,
there's no sense, and I say to people, when they come in the open house, are you working with an agent? Because I have a place on my form to fill out for that. And then as a listing agent, I call all those agents that evening or send them a text and said, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we're through. I think they really love the place. Why don't you follow up with them?
yeah, I mean, and that's what
they
you would
appreciate
want.
that.
Mhm.
That's what you would want if the tables were turned. So,
Exactly.
you know, just ethical people.
Yeah, I was teaching another class at a different brokerage where I used to work, and you had to turn in your paper file to the front desk. It was back in that day. And then they kept all those in a giant filing cabinet. And I had a new agent say to me, well, what's to say I just can't get in there and see, you know, your cost estimate sheet with the listing? And I said, if I ever catch you in the filing cabinet looking in my section, you'll lose some digits. So we're not going to have that conversation. And that's just dirty business.
It is, yeah.
We're not like that. It's bad enough they think we're like lower than car dealers and.
So back to
Crash
doing open
attorneys.
houses, it's great for getting potential buyers. Maybe a buyer for that house, which is the ideal goal, is to get that property under contract. But if they don't like that house, see if they're not working with an agent, see if you can help them find another property that does suit them. So it's a good way to get a lead. The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, they call it the Red Book. A lot of times you'll hear people talk about the Red Book or the MREA book. There's a section in there, it's called seventh level open house or whatever. So it talks about how to do a really good open house. I don't know if they have any extra copies of that book out here, but Greg might even have a copy tomorrow or someone else here in the office, and just read through that chapter maybe. And talk with Greg, see what he does and how he does them. You know, you want to get the sign in the yard early, you want to market it on social media, obviously get it in MLS. And the listing agent will have to do that. But, yeah. Some agents will take little goodie like snacks. I don't recommend with the COVID thing that it's like open cookies or anything. Make sure it's bagged. And
I was a germaphobe way long ago.
yeah, me too. Me too. Even before COVID,
Buffets and all that.
I actually have little teeny hand sanitizers that they throw in a little and people can take them. You know,
But
whatever.
like, I think when Bob
Fly,
did your
print
open
fly.
house with me, I took all the sign-in sheets that had agents, and Bob took all the sign-in sheets that were free agents, really, free clients.
Yeah, so, you know, you can, print little flyers if you want, or just print the MLS.
Is it in a community?
No, it's in on Edders Road.
Okay, so
Or
kind of out
in,
in
no,
the
sorry,
country.
in Edders.
In Edders, okay, so it's a little more rural.
Yeah.
When you get one that's in a neighborhood, door knock,
Oh.
like you were here for the open house.
That's a great way, yeah, when you're in a community,
Just inviting them to come to the open house.
say, hey, we're having,
Yep.
or, you know, another cool thing, like some of the close by, like, hey, we're having an open house, and say, I just want to give you my card, if there's any issues with parking or traffic or anything, please feel free to reach out to me, like, the neighbors love that, but really, you're trying to get
Yeah.
your name in there.
Yeah, that's
Or
fine.
sometimes open up half an hour early for the neighbors, a neighbor preview.
Yeah.
Because when they come in,
They love being
they
nosy,
like to
neighbors
creep
love being
in, they
nosy.
don't want you to ask. so
They just
you
wanna know
know,
what they don't have in
"Yeah,
their
are you a
house, like,
neighbor?"
yeah,
I'm
like,
direct.
I like
So
that,
was
though.
Are you a neighbor? Yeah, we're just coming in being nosy. I'm like, that's perfect. You might know someone you want to call neighbors, so come on in, look around. But you're gonna sign in. Don't
Yeah,
have anybody
absolutely.
not sign in. but-
Yeah, and sometimes, I don't usually get too much reluctance on people signing.
You don't get the
in, but-
sly ones that try to, okay, well, I'll do that then, and then they keep looking.
Oh,
at
I
it.
keep asking. "Please sign
oh yeah, I
in."
follow you around, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm so new to the business and I'm not afraid to do that, to be like, hey, listen, I just need you to sign this, and then you can go do what you gotta do. Like, yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
You know, too,
So this is someone's house with belongings.
Exactly. And-
Exactly,
Has
this,
right-
yeah, and I would say, you know, and I've said that already, like, you know, we need to get you to sign in, because this is someone else's
Right.
home, and we need to keep record of who's been in and out of this property.
Right.
So,
And who taught the open house class? Do you remember?
Tina,
Tina.
yeah.
She said she blames COVID too for contact tracing. She's like, you know, with COVID.
I was on a class one time where somebody, well, if you don't want to sign in, then you can't preview the property.
Oh, my.
Yeah, they wouldn't let, I
That
forgot.
would be me.
Was that
Yeah,
you? Do
honestly.
you, oh, you do that? I
Yeah, I
don't,
would not. I'd be like, okay.
yeah, to preview the property, you need to sign in, and it's policy.
Well, I was holding an open house at one of my listings and another agent came from another brokerage who had an appointment to show during the open house, which that was weird. But the specific instructions were you must wear a mask, sanitize, wear booties. Okay, the house was vacant, but my person was caring for an elderly senior, her father-in-law. And my fiance had just had bladder cancer surgery. And it's like, I can't risk making him sick and neither can her. Well, this agent just rolls up. His client's there and they're coming in. And I'm like, do you guys have masks? Because when I did its open houses, Bob will tell you, I came with my whole supply kit. And he's like, oh, we don't do masks. And I said, oh,
Do
because
you?
it was in the showing instructions, like always do with, you know. So if I wasn't there, they were just gonna walk through willy-nilly. And I said, well, we're all masked and we, you know, I have some extras here. Oh, we're not doing that. Are you saying we can't go in? I said, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
And that was a referral too from another agent. She was, because, you know, back then we had to be extremely, well, we still have to be extremely careful, but
It's just respecting other
It's-
people's property and their wishes, you know? I
yeah,
mean,
that was,
This isn't about you, people.
that was criteria to list it. I follow those instructions and if you don't like it, it's a highway. I sold it. So,
What was nice about COVID is in some cases, because, you know, you actually locked the door
Yeah.
and only, you could have only one or two people
People
in
in.
at the same time. So then you're a one-to-one with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of this place? What do you
Right.
you like the living room? You know, this next, you know, it was just, you could really discuss with them what's going on, talk with them. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
You
it.
know, that was my first class ever teaching.
Hey.
I hope I did all right.
You did good.
fine. I'm
Great,
sorry I
actually.
was late too.
Thanks.
Where's the open house in Edwards? What's the address?
I'm
I have
an
people-
introverted selfie.
Looking for-
People, so you know.
I'm just introverted too, but like,
I'm a
That's
social
what I'm saying,
introvert.
Fake it, you
Yeah,
have to fake it,
the-
and then you go home exhausted.
Exactly.
It's
Gonna,
like,
oh my God, I just gave myself to everybody. I can't. Like, yeah.
There's a book I'm reading right now, it's called Quiet.
Yeah.
And it's about introverts and extroverts. It's really interesting.
yeah, because I have like really good people skills, but I
Yeah.
just don't really like.
15
Like,
down the road.
yeah.
I'm like,
So,
yeah, you have
15
to
Valley
really
Road.
push
15
yourself
Valley Road.
out there to be social, and then you're exhausted
Bob, so
after,
I'm
and
just
that's
gonna
the
sell
typical
it.
sign of
You
an
watch
introvert.
it, sell it
Right.
before you get to do the open.
But you should read that book. It's a really good book. Have a
So
good
it's
one.
not on
Thank
the
you.
market
Thanks for
yet?
coming.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Read my
Me and mine.
What's the asking
Definitely.
price?
425,
I
I
think you might
believe.
need to disconnect from.
I'm not connected to the recording.
Well, it's out of
I
their
asked-
price range that they were looking
I
for, but
text-
that's,
Can you run out there and
that's an
tell him
interesting
to
house.
stop recording it? Is it still
how many
recording?
acres?
Oh, you can do it
That I
here.
have to look up too. I just know 4-bed, actually, I'm gonna do all my homework tonight.
Okay.
Four bed,
Oh,
two
it's
bath, I believe it's a flip situation. Last one at 1.7 or 175K was sold at last, I believe.
Extra garages?
Says it's still recording.
And what did you use to pull
15
this up?
15 Valley, this is HomeSnap.
Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
got that one.
Still our whole
Is that it?
conversation.
Uh,
Yeah.
no,
Great.
I think that